literally on a crit with Neo Venom? Look at that. 300k? What the fuck? I'm max stats, max arts, max allies, max everything. Bruh. I literally have 1.2 million might. What are we saying? Using Omega. Another DPS 7 days ago using Omega. Holidays, a big name in the community, right? Using Omega. A evil DPS using Omega. Another DPS, I think this guy's from Applied Pressure, using Omega as water. Another DPS from Evil using Omega. Another DPS from Evil using Omega. So now all of a sudden people want to say, oh, it's common sense. You obviously don't want to use it because water is so powerful. No, you didn't think it was common sense. It's easy to say something is common sense after someone tells you the common sense. Like, now people are like, oh yeah, we already knew that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't know that till you saw me do it. And again, this is where people, like, when I start talking like this is where people are like, oh, LV's ignorant, LV's ego. It's just like, you gotta put yourself in my shoes. Alright guys, what's up guys? It's your boy LV, and today I'm making this quick video. I'm not even gonna do much editing. One thing I wanted to clarify is the fact that I have full-on businesses IRL, and I do personal training. I do so much with my day, and even after I finish this video, I gotta do so much more things. I literally just woke up. Don't even, like, first thing I did was get on and do this video because I wanted to get it out. Yesterday I spent the day with my family watching the Super Bowl, ate some food out, and now I wanted to come to you guys because you guys are like my second family. Even the haters, you guys are like the brother that are always fighting. So one thing I wanted to clarify is this: when I have my content is not going to be perfect, because at the end of the day, there's no schooling on how to be the best YouTuber. There's no schooling on how to be the perfect whatever. You know, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't know this, but I know I look old, but I'm only 21. I still have a lot to learn in life. I'm still going to make mistakes, just like we all would. And what I embrace the haters to do, the people who want to be so negative and say, oh, you lost all your credibility. No, I made a mistake. That doesn't make me lose all my credibility. That makes me be a human, okay? But I'm going to explain why I said the Omega was nerfed, why I thought it was nerfed. But just to clarify, now before I go into the whole nerf topic, I wanted to explain something about the word nerf. The word nerf means when you make something less effective, less powerful than it was previously. It doesn't necessarily mean that the developers directly nerf something by changing the damage on it. It just means that some update, something was added and changed it to where whatever the thing is, it's not as effective or as powerful as before. And I'm going to give you guys an example of what this means. And I'm going to give you guys in a real life situation, right? Because I'm a person, I like to give analogies. Let's say I'm a runner. Like I do track, right? And I run 10 miles per hour. That is my maximum speed. But I'm 10 miles per hour just running, like my fastest. But you give me a vest and you say, put that vest on, or take that vest, you have to wear it. And then the vest has 20 pounds of weight, and I put that vest on. If I don't run that same speed because of that vest is nerfing me. Now, are you directly nerfing my speed? Like, am I getting slower? No. But you giving me the addition to that vest is making my run be less effective and less powerful. So that's just an analogy, just so you guys can understand what I mean when I say that Omega may have not been stealth nerfed directly, but it was still indirectly nerfed, and it's making it outdated. And that's why it led me to make that video. But I'm going to tell you guys, if you guys saw the beginning of the clip, why I put that it was stealth nerfed, because it was doing extreme low numbers. But there's a reason why it was making extreme low numbers, which I'm going to explain towards the end of the video, so stay for that. But the whole point of the video, that video was not to like tell you guys delete Omega, guys, Omega sucks. The whole point of that video was to tell you guys the title, literally, Omega meta is dead in DCUO. It's no longer the meta. It's no longer the best thing to use. Now, a lot of you guys might say, oh, we already knew that. The reality is you guys didn't. And the proof is right there on YouTube. You look at YouTubers, if you look at DCUO water, you're going to see a bunch of DPSs. And this is not to talk trash on them. It's just to face the reality. Bunch of DPSs who are water, who have max stats, max CR after the revamp, and they're still using Omega. Another DPS 7 days ago using Omega. Holidays, a big name in the community, right? Using Omega. A evil DPS using Omega. Another DPS, I think this guy's from Applied Pressure, using Omega as water. Another DPS from Evil using Omega. Another DPS from Evil using Omega. So now all of a sudden people want to say, oh, it's common sense. You obviously don't want to use it because water is so powerful. No, you didn't think it was common sense. It's easy to say something is common sense after someone tells you the common sense. Like, now people are like, oh yeah, we already knew that. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't know that till you saw me do it. And again, this is where people, like, when I start talking like this is where people are like, oh, LV's ignorant, LV's ego. It's just like, you gotta put yourself in my shoes. I just hate how people lie and lie and lie, but then they want to call me the liar. That's like, it's like, it blows my mind. It really blows my mind. So the whole point of the video, back to like calm LV, the whole point of the video was to embrace the fact that Omega is no longer the meta. The meta is water and not using Omega. Now, you may ask, what if we don't want to be water? Well, if you're not water and you go against the water, you're going to get smoked. There is no guide video. There's no loadout setup. There's no art setup. There's nothing I can physically tell you or give you where you're going to do more damage than someone who's water and they know what they're doing. I mean, if you have not noticed that, then I don't know what to tell you. The meta right now is go water. And if you want to go the extra mile, you get a lasso. If you want to go even the extra mile, you get a bat swarm, you get a sunstone. You don't have to get those iconics. Okay, so people don't say, oh, he's trying to sell iconics. You don't have to get them. They're like a bonus. If you go water, that's already enough to do all the damage that you need to be able to do what you got to do. Okay, so that's that. That's that. Now, is Omega useless? No. Is Omega a good art still? Yes. But there now is a better option, which is water. And when they revamp Hard Light, I'm pretty sure Hard Light is also going to be better than Omega. And that's what I was trying to shed light on. And that's why I say, that's why in my video, I clarify that I'm going against a guy who has, like, the person that I go against in this video, Web Slice, he has the Sunstone, the Bat Swarm, Max Augments, Max CR, using everything that physically you could use, because in his mind, he thinks that was better. And this is something, I made a video on it. And I learned this when I was really, really young as a kid. I made a video when they made 2 loadouts, right? I made a video that basically said, you don't need 2 loadouts. Sometimes less is more. And the same thing applies to DPSing. Don't think because you do some complicated rotation, that means that you're going to do more damage. Sometimes doing a simple rotation that you can do consistent numbers with is the better option. So that's why in my video, I say, he thinks that he's doing more by doing what he's doing, but he's actually doing less. Because all you have to do for water is very simple. Anybody could do it. You do the combos, you build your dehydrate, and then you clip your dehydrate. I like to clip it with a shield or with breakout or with your cola or with a supercharge. You clip it, and then you go right back to doing your combos. That's what I was trying to get across. And that's what people blew out of proportion. They just saw that I said that it was nerfed, and they took it way out of proportion. And honestly, it's okay. I'm honestly happy that if I have to take backlash from people, that's fine, because I'm actually happy that a lot of people got into the game, did some testing, started discussing it. A lot of Discord servers got active, and I'm honestly happy for it. If I have to get backlash and get negativity just to activate this community to come together and start talking with one another, I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to take one for the team just to get the community to have that heartbeat pumping again. Because this is how it used to be back in the day for the OGs I remember. It used to be a lot of drama and a lot of people discussing and arguing. And I think it's good to have these discussions and have these arguments as long as they're done in somewhat of a professional manner. You know, so the people who are making personal attacks or, you know, doing all this extra stuff, that's where it gets too far, especially since you're saying it over the internet. that's where it gets too far. And quite frankly, in the future, if someone does that in my channel or in my comment section or in my streams, I'm just going to remove you from the page because you're ruining the experience. Not really towards me, because it doesn't really bother me, but you're ruining it for the people that are kids or people that may be watching it on the big screen on their living room, or people who maybe are listening to it in their AirPods while they're at work or while they're at the gym. You're ruining that experience for them because now I'm replying to you and they have to listen to me ranting to you because you decided to say something negative or because you decided to rage bait. So what I came to realize is that moving on, I'm just going to ignore, and I'm just going to block. And even if people keep making these like negative videos, I'm not going to take the time to respond to them. I show these videos not to show that any of these players are bad. I'm happy all these creators are making videos, but I just wanted to shine light on the fact that every one of these DPSs were using Omega after the revamp of water. So 'cause people are trying to argue with like, yeah, you don't need Omega with water, but yeah, everybody was using it. Everybody was using it. And even dehydrate. A lot of people were using, I see this guy Stealth, like this guy here, he doesn't have dehydrate in his loadout. This guy here doesn't have dehydrate in his loadout. This guy here doesn't have dehydrate in his loadout. Those are 3 evil DPSs that claim that they're the best. They don't have dehydrate in their loadout. This guy doesn't have dehydrate in his loadout. The only person out of these people that I brought up that has dehydrate in their loadout is this guy Stealth. He's the only one that thought about it. But here's the logic. You want to use dehydrate even on hallways because, here's the because even though it only hits one target, it does so much damage that it does more damage to one target than your AoE is doing to multiple targets. So by simple common sense, you still want to use it. You just got to be smart with it. When you use that dehydrate on hallways, you got to make sure you use it on a ad that has a lot of health. So that way you get the majority of the health. Like you get the majority of the damage. You don't want to pop it on an ad that has a low amount of health. So that's another thing that I didn't really talk about, but a lot of people didn't use dehydrate on hallways. They thought, oh, it's a single target move. I'm only going to use it on boss fights. No, you want to use it on hallways. So that's to give clarity on that. And the last thing, because I want to make this a less than a 10-minute video. So the reason why I said the Omega was nerfed is because of the gameplay that you guys saw at the beginning. The gameplay at the beginning, right? Watch this, pay attention to this. I hit a Spore Pod, Weapon Buff, Shield, Neo Venom with full book stats, and my Omega at max CR, max augments, this is my main tune, my Omega does 200k ticks and then a 500k crit. And I'm like, this was happening throughout the whole night too. It wasn't just this segment. And this whole live stream is on my YouTube in case you guys want to be able to see it. I'm not deleting, I'm not trying to hide nothing. I'm not deleting any of my footage. You guys can go watch the whole footage. You're going to see my genuine reaction where I'm like, what the hell? It's doing 100, 200K. But I hit an Omega here, right? And it's doing 200K. And I'm like, there's no way that it's doing this low damage. There's no way that it's doing this low. And that's what led me to believe that it was nerfed. And it was happening throughout the whole night. But after analyzing the video, I realized that I was running with a troll who's not debuffing the boss. It wasn't buffing the group. He doesn't even have league buffs. So as you guys can see, if you watch it back, there's no debuff on the boss. There's no debuff on the boss. He puts his only a healing debuff, and then the boss blocks. And when the boss blocks, he raises his defense up, and also the troll's not buffing me. So he's not giving me the same numbers that I should be getting usually, or I should say I usually get. I don't want to say should because I mean that's not everybody knows the setup. Not everybody has the buff arts. I wasn't getting the numbers that I usually get, and that's what I was throwing me off with the Omega. It wasn't necessarily the Omega being nerfed. It was the troll, and also the fact that it kept bugging out. And if you watch the stream, you're going to see it bugging out the whole time. I barely was able to use it because it kept bugging out. So the bugging out, the damage being low because of the troll, and then the people in my chat agreeing like that they're doing lower damage because of all of the reasons that I listed, lasso, the fact they're not able to use the DPS, all of these reasons, that's what led me to believe that the Omega was nerfed. But again, the whole video was not to shine light on the Omega being nerfed. The video was about saying that the Omega is no longer meta, which is still true, and I still stand on it. The meta is Omega, and Omega is Omega with other powers, but with water, which is the best power right now, you don't want Omega. And again, I already showed the proof. I don't want people to say, oh, we already knew that. People did not know that. The proof is on YouTube. Everyone's videos is using Omega, even with water, even after the revamp. And that's all I have to say. I don't think I lied or spread misinformation or did this and this. If you can think whatever you want at the end of the day, that's my clarity on it. That's my 2 cents. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. I love all of you guys. Peace out.